Real Stories Tapes True Crime is your new true crime podcast fix. In our first season, we'll explore suspicious deaths at a California hospital and a skydiver landing dead on a suburban driveway with a bag containing guns, drugs, and night vision goggles. To join our investigation, search and subscribe to Real Stories Tapes True Crime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts.
Cocaine, long regarded as the drug of choice of the super wealthy. But today it's stronger, cheaper, and more dangerous than ever before, with millions of users across the globe.
I don't remember the last time I've been even in a pub that people aren't doing it.
Now 4 casual cocaine users are going on camera to talk about their cocaine use.
I'd usually take cocaine either off a key or off my hand itself. Yeah, just...
How much do they know about their drug of choice?
It actually started to cause their skin to rot.
The reality of its journey from the Amazon rainforest in Colombia.
What is this?
Que llama agua de batería.
Battery acid.
To a worldwide market.
This is actually off the boat.
The human cost of the supply chain.
The people have to go through all this.
And what happens when it becomes more than just a party drug?
Basically, I'm lucky to be alive.
Will they still take drugs for fun, or will living with the cartels change their minds forever?
I haven't really got a reason to stop using cocaine.
I don't see that there's an issue in doing it.
I think it's going to be a real eye-opener.
Despite it being an illegal drug, cocaine production is at its highest rate in history.
Is this going to be my interrogation chair?
Our 4 cocaine users come from across the UK, have never met, and are on a potentially dangerous journey across Colombia to discover everything they don't know about the drug. First up, public relations consultant Amber.
When I take cocaine, it's energy, isn't it? It's just like a coffee.
Airport load operator Louis.
I think the difference in quality between cocaine in the UK and Colombia is probably like the difference between a Ford and a Ferrari.
Model and makeup artist Chanel.
I don't need cocaine to make my night better. It just means that I can just last a lot longer. If I don't sniff cocaine, I'll be going home at 3 in the morning. If I do sniff it, I'll be going home the next day.
And supermarket worker Troy.
Best thing about cocaine is just how easy it is to get hold of, and everyone does it sort of thing. It's like the norm to do cocaine on a night out.
Tests have already revealed what's in the cocaine they're snorting.
All these different types of tablets are like dewormers for animals.
Oh my God, it's got a cat on it.
And how a single line can affect the heart.
Your heart rate shoots right up.
But now they're in Colombia, the main source of the world's cocaine, to understand the real cost of their drug taking.
Do your family know what you do for a living?
No me gustaría que tampoco nunca en la vida se dieran de cuenta de que su padre es un asesino. Me da tristeza y vergüenza.
Colombia is a vast country, and it now supplies nearly 2/3 of the Western world's cocaine. To find out how so much Colombian cocaine makes its way out of the country each year, PR consultant Amber and airport worker Louis are heading to the northern coast.
Yeah, I mean, we're so far away from home. Like, how do you think it does get there?
Discovering how cocaine is made,
Pretty out in the sticks, aren't we, to be honest?
Troy and Chanel are in the Amazon rainforest in the country's deep south. They're meeting a coca farmer who's agreed to take them to his secret cocaine laboratory far into the jungle.
Chanel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's one of at least 120,000 Colombian farmers growing coca leaf in the Amazon jungle. each producing on average 11 kilograms of cocaine a year.
So, Pedro, who's this young man on the back of your horse?
Un hijo mío, tiene 8 añitos.
That bit there's slippy.
I'm definitely such a city girl.
After a 2-hour trek, they arrive at the secret plantation.
Es esta hoja que le llamamos la famosa coca.
The coca leaves contain traces of a chemical alkaloid, the basis of the drug.
How many plants do you need to make, say, a gram of cocaine?
50 plantas de estas.
50?
Each leaf only contains a tiny amount of the substance used in cocaine. And farmers would need a plantation the size of 2 football pitches to make 1 kilogram of the drug.
Is it worth it, though?
Cultivar esta mata de coca es por una necesidad, porque uno no tiene con qué sostener su familia, con qué darle estudio a sus hijos. Igualmente a mí, yo me veo obligado.
In 2015, the Colombian government began offering cash to farmers to ditch coca leaves and switch to growing legal crops. But the move backfired. Regular farmers cottoned on and began planting coca leaves to qualify for the payouts. So last year, rural farmers had the biggest crop in the country's history, covering an area larger than Greater London.
It's like Alan Titchmarsh, but of the cocaine world.
Extracting cocaine alkaloid from the leaves requires a toxic mixture.
Este químico llama cal. Este químico llama nutrimón.
Oh my God, it smells like cat's Ooh, that's like when you bleach your hair as well. Yeah. It's like a really strong smell of like ammonia.
Cool.
Your eyes are going red.
Yeah.
The farmer's 8-year-old helps mix the leaves with noxious chemicals.
He's barefoot as well. And imagine what's up the kid's feet.
True.
Pedro, do you think cocaine's stupid to take?
Que la gente que consume la cocaína es un estúpido y hasta más. Y yo nunca meto este vicio. Porque después de procesar y sacado el material, hay mucha gente que lo tiene como vicio. No les importa la vida morirse en el vicio, pero yo digo que sería muy estúpido el que verdaderamente consume esta droga.
The next additive is gasoline, used to draw out the cocaine alkaloid from the leaves.
I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Not very often I get speechless about something.
Hace 40 meses.
Do you find it weird that cocaine in Britain and in most places in the world is like quite a posh drug? It's quite expensive, and you think it would be made in a laboratory, but it's made by some guy in a little box in a oil container.
Yeah. It literally looks like sewage. It's like no wonder why that gives you no wonder why that gives you nosebleeds. It's made me a lot more aware of what you're actually putting into your body. Pretty mind blown, to be honest. Makes you feel a bit stupid, doesn't it, really?
I'm just curious how they get from that.
Yeah, how does it go white?
Next, on board with the Colombian Navy, patrolling the Caribbean Sea for cocaine smugglers.
Oh, there's a speedboat just here. Can you see?
Camera's down.
Britain is now the cocaine capital of Europe.
I do coke at least once a week, used to lighten up the night a little bit.
And 4 Britons are admitting to being casual users.
So the first time I took cocaine, I was at boarding school.
Trying to think when the first time was now.
We were all drinking, smoking, as you do at that age, and someone brought out a bag of cocaine.
I think I was around 17, 18, and I didn't even think 1 second of what I was doing.
So in the same way that you have your first drink or you have your first cigarette, I had my first line of coke.
I was 13 when I first tried cocaine.
It was just, I'll try it, my mates are trying it, let's have a go. And yeah, it did end up being a good time, to be honest.
Our 4 are in Colombia, where the vast majority of the world's cocaine comes from. In the south, Troy and Chanel are discovering how primitive and toxic its production is.
No wonder why that gives you nosebleeds.
It seems a far cry from the clean white powder they are partying on in the UK.
What is this?
Esto es agua. Aquí en este tambor yo le zampo, como son 3 arrobas de hoja, le zampo 3 tazadas de agua. Le echo este tarro que llama agua de batería. Nosotros llamamos como ácido.
You put battery acid in there. Oh my God.
I thought that stuff there was bad.
Nah.
When you whacked out the old battery acid bottle, I was just like, hey, wait a second, because I thought the gasoline was bad enough, but when he added that in, I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Pedro is siphoning off the cocaine-infused water from the bottom of the barrel. If he's caught, he faces 20 years in prison. Last year, the authorities destroyed over 4,000 labs like Pedro's. Less than 4% of the estimated total.
How much do you reckon you'll get out of what you've done today?
Hacer 3 arrobas de hoja, tengo que sacar 90 gramos de mercancía.
How much will you get for this?
Con 90 gramos de mercancía valen 180,000 pesos.
45.
You are
45 quid.
So-
You know how much we pay for a gram at home?
No.
Per gram, it's £100.
Ah, fuéramos ricos.
For every £100 spent on cocaine internationally, farmers like Pedro receive less than 50 pence. The rest of the money will go to the cartel, smugglers and dealers.
It's very confusing. You don't really know what to think and like where you stand and stuff because, yeah, it's painting a bigger picture than just something that's just black and white.
Pedro is leading Troy and Chanel to his family home.
Literally boiling hot.
He cooks his cocaine base on the same stove they make the family dinner on.
Esta es la coca, vea.
This brown liquid will eventually become 90 grams of cocaine, worth up to £9,000 on the streets of Europe.
Tastes like exactly like it, yeah. My mouth is numb.
Pedro will sell his cocaine base to the largest cartel in Colombia, the Gulf Clan.
It's so much hard work for someone just to piss up their nose, isn't it?
Innit?
To turn it into a white powder, the cartel will dissolve the base in solvents and apply heat to evaporate the chemicals, before it's pressed into blocks and smuggled to affluent countries like Britain.
Today's definitely had a massive impact on the way that I now look at cocaine. Massively.
And the fact that he makes barely nothing and people that sell it back in the UK make
It's disgusting.
loads. It is really, when he's the one doing all the hard work.
Yeah, like risking his own life, risking his family's life, but also to give his family a life.
Yeah.
It's mental.
Amber and Louis have arrived in Turbo, a port town on the Caribbean coast in the far north of Colombia.
What, the trains could go on?
It is here in Turbo that cocaine leaves the country via a major international supply route.
I think meeting people in the cocaine industry out in Colombia, I don't think they're going to be bad people. I think the majority of them will be doing it for survival. I never like to judge people on what they do or on face value. It's always interesting to find out why, because everyone has a story.
The powerful Gulf Clan controls many of the international routes. Louis is meeting a member of the cartel who uses a speedboat to transport cocaine.
Give us a hug. I'll see you when I see you.
later. Good luck.
In an attempt to outsmart the authorities, Colombian traffickers are increasingly stashing cocaine in container ships. It's a tactic that is proving highly effective.
It's just interesting, not obviously sat in the middle of nowhere, that people do actually export cocaine
from this very place back to the UK. It's just mind-blowing, really. It's a big, big ocean. I do feel I'm a comfort zone, yeah. You never know who's going to turn up, who they're going to be.
This must be our guy.
With the cartels frequently changing their smuggling tactics, divulging the smallest operational detail would be unforgivable in the eyes of smuggler Dario's cartel bosses. The Colombian Navy are the final defense in the battle to stop the Gulf clan from exporting the drug. Amber is due to accompany them on a patrol. In late 2017, officers here captured 13 tons of pure cocaine in a single day, the largest haul in the country's history. It was hidden in hundreds of boxes of bananas, one of Colombia's main legal exports. Britain's SAS, Border Force and National Crime Agency have been training and working with Colombia's armed forces for almost 3 decades to thwart the flow of cocaine.
Hola.
Hola.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Sí, Amber?
Morning. Coronel Paz Wisner, comandante del Batallón Fluvial de Infantería Marina número 16.
The Navy has intercepted 64 metric tons of product in the last year. On patrol missions like this, they look for boats just like the one Louis is on.
So, on a boat similar to this size, how much cocaine would you be able to fit on a...
¿Qué cantidad de cocaína puedes cargar? Una tonelada más o menos.
How is it packed?
El estilo como una panela de azúcar y se reembasa en tanques, una potencia excelente para borrar cualquier identidad que nos persiga.
Have the police or Navy never thought of upgrading their boats to get a boat the size of yours?
Si lo ponen como los tenemos nosotros bien finos, sería una opción de agarrarnos, pero como no nos tienen, nosotros los borramos, dejamos en visto, y, chao papá, vamos para lo que estamos y al piso.
Oh, there's a speedboat just here. Can you see? Do you think that could be something with the Gulf clan?
¿Usted cree que esa embarcación que va rápido podría ser algo del clan del Golfo?
Camera's down, the camera's down. Okay, just we don't want them to see his thing. Do you want to... Cameras down, please. Cameras down.
Getting cocaine out of Colombia is a dangerous task, and being seen with a camera crew raises suspicion.
Estos son embarcaciones que se utilizan para transporte de personal y son utilizadas por los turistas.
I thought that was the police.
No, eran unos manes como unos pescadores, pesqueros.
Does your family know that you do this?
No están bien. Son tan nerviosos con la actividad, pero, como le digo, no hay mucha oportunidad.
So when you intercept the Gulf clan, their boats, do they fight back?
Últimamente, hace aproximadamente 2 meses, bajan el alijo de cocaína, nuestras unidades ingresan. La respuesta fue con tiros. Uno de nuestros hombres cae muerto en...
In Britain, people are quite blasé about cocaine. It's a party drug. On a Friday night, they have some drinks, have some cocaine. How do you feel about that?
Lastimosamente, porque acá lo usamos en Colombia fuertemente para que esa droga no llegue Europa.
The colonel has spotted a likely target. It's a transport vessel. Its cargo, bananas.
So what's going on here? We're going to look on the boat, or?
You want to drop in there?
Me? Yeah? Okay. Go like this?
Stop and search operations like this happen daily.
Oh, muchas gracias.
And they're like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
I think there's sort of a lot of hiding places where things could be stashed. Definitely starting to get a bit of adrenaline, and the nerves are going a little bit. They're looking at their documentation now, I think, to make sure they are who they say they are.
There is a possibility that I've probably tried some of the drugs that you've smuggled.
¿Algún momento en tu vida que hayas utilizado algún día probar algunas drogas?
I have took drugs, whether it's from your department, I don't know, but I've got friends personally, no money, and they're getting into big debts because of it. Does that not bother you, your help causing towards that?
A mí pues no me molesta porque quizás no las consumo y no las por egos.
The colonel's platoon may not have uncovered any cocaine today, but last year the combined armed forces seized 395 metric tons.
Even all of the Navy guys, there's only so much you can keep an eye on. Clearly, if one of the Navy guys was killed not that long ago, definitely starting to understand the seriousness of this war, I guess.
The risks taken by the cartel to export cocaine and the efforts made by the Navy to stem the flow of the drug have prompted Louis and Amber to re-evaluate their preconceptions about the war on drugs.
The Colonel's take on it was, they're all bad guys. Like, you've got to catch them because they're doing such bad things.
I kind of felt sorry for Speedboat Man. Somebody's got to go out and deliver drugs by a boat.
Someone's got to do it.
To feed the family. I mean, there's always a choice of doing it or not doing it, but...
I don't know, maybe not though. But I guess such a complex situation. I think the truth is just somewhere in the middle.
The truth is that millions of ordinary Colombians have been caught in the middle of a cocaine war for decades.
The people have to go through all this.
4 recreational cocaine users are on a journey to discover the truth behind their favourite drug.
It's just a little icing on the cake when you're having a night out. Keep you going all night.
How else do you party for that long?
Gram for gram, cocaine is the most expensive commonly used drug in the world.
If people knew that the people that do cocaine aren't, your back alley prostitutes and your junkies and stuff like that, people would be a lot more willing and open to talk about it.
So many people are doing it. Why would you not feel comfortable talking about it? People go out on the weekends and get absolutely smashed on alcohol. And is that because it's legal? I suppose that must be why it is, because it's illegal.
These casual users are back in the city of Medellin, Colombia, the former home of cocaine baron Pablo Escobar, when it held the unsavory distinction of being the murder capital of the world.
Quite funny, I've never been to this place before, but I feel so at home.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone's so friendly.
Yeah.
But times have changed, and the city is enjoying tumbling crime rates and thriving tourism. Though away from the skyscrapers of downtown, cocaine gangs still loom large over Medellin's slums. Oscar Avendano runs a charity in a notorious neighborhood called Manrique, one of the cartel-controlled slums. He's taking the team off the tourist trail and into the heart of that slum.
It definitely looks like the higher we're going up the mountain, the poorer it's getting by the looks of things.
The Colombian cartels don't just make and sell cocaine. In 2017 alone, 70,000 men, women and children were trafficked into forced labour and many into prostitution.
Is prostitution for women around these areas, is it known?
Ahorita las redes de microtráfico en Medellín nomás el expendio de drogas para ofrecer los servicios sexuales.
You know, having women that are vulnerable being put into something like that is, yeah, it's quite sad.
Oscar's charity works to try and keep the neighbourhood's children away from the cocaine gangs.
Where is it that you're taking us exactly?
Este es el barrio La Cruz.
But families here live in poverty, and the gangs have plenty of cash to offer would-be recruits. Kids as young as 10 are targeted.
Y donde nosotros tenemos, se puedan alejar a los chicos del crimen, se puede alejar de los espacios de consumo de drogas y demás, ¿cierto? Entonces,
There is a huge sense of community here. Like, you can notice that everyone's keeping an eye out to make sure that people are safe and stuff. It's nice. You feel very safe and very welcome. You don't feel like you're not allowed to be here.
This is a sanctuary for 125 children who live in the neighbourhood.
Oh, hola. Hola.
It's one of the few places they can play freely, safe from the reach of the gangs.
Living around this area, do you ever get scared? You do get scared? Because of gangs or...
Do you have to go quite careful with what you do around here?
Yes. Se lo pueden robar los marihuaneros.
Watching over the children are two teenagers from the neighbourhood who the gangs tried but failed to recruit.
So how do you find living in this area?
Compañeros de infancia que llegaron momentos donde ya se metieron mucho en eso y pues comenzaron a dominar las drogas más que todo, y entre bandas muchos han perdido sus vidas.
Hermanos de calle, hermanas así también, primos, mucha gente que se va ahí.
How do you get into the gangs?
Y muchas veces cuando son drogadictos se meten en eso, se ganan problemas y los del mismo como los matan.
How many children here do you think roughly are going to end up in with the gangs?
Culados en drogas y armas o en cosas malas por lo normal, un 75-80%.
It just goes to show that cocaine is not just sniffing, having a good time. There's also this whole backstory. But when you're doing it, most people wouldn't even consider. Quite upsetting sort of thing. It's just, sorry. Yeah.
To know that 75% of those kids could possibly end up in the drug game, and the girls, what they could even worse potentially do, is horrific. It's horrible.
The cartel that runs this neighbourhood and recruits its children is called the Oficina de Envigado. Founded as an enforcement arm of Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel. Chanel and Troy have been granted a rare meeting with two members of this cartel, who themselves were recruited as children and have since risen through the ranks. Security guard Ivan is a retired anti-narcotics agent who has seen how the Oficina de Envigado use cocaine cash to fund their brutal operation.
Es serio. Secuestra, asesina, roba, extorsiona. Todo lo que tiene que ver con delitos lo hacen ellos, entonces no deja de ser riesgoso.
I'm just hoping it goes smoothly, but at the same time a bit like, once it all goes tits up, what's going to happen? Like,
Then you better hope that you can run fast.
Yeah.
Troy will talk to a high-ranking cartel leader, while Chanel will meet with one of their assassins.
¿Quiere conocer al sicario? Sí, no nada, pero eso. Well, that's her.
Oh. Is she coming over? Do I go over?
I think you can go.
Hello. Chanel.
Me llamo Chanel.
Me llamo Ariel Ariel.
Having seen the children in the sanctuary, Chanel wants to know how young the assassin was when she was forced into a life of crime.
How long have you been doing this?
Desde los 15 años. Tengo 39. Me gusta la droga, me gusta todo.
Wow.
Me encanta la loquera, a pesar de que no soy mi niña, pero desde los 15 años me encantó ser loca de todo. Amigos que me para lo que sea.
So I take it you're a drug dealer?
Sí, claro. Yo me dedico a eso, yo soy el que mando todo eso por acá.
What made you start selling drugs?
No, pues desde pelado yo probé la marihuana y empecé a vender a los 10 años. Desde esa edad he vendido y siempre he mantenido ya ahora.
Oh, do you mind if the gun's pointed away from me, please? Bit nervous.
Para otro lado, por favor. Me tiene un poco nervioso.
Gracias. So how pure is the cocaine?
Esto es pura, eso viene raspada, triturada de la mata y de la mata ya sale pura, eso no tiene ninguna liga ni tiene nada, tiene puro.
When was the last time that you took a hit out on someone?
Hace 8 días. Maté un man porque no la hizo. Lo picamos y lo echamos a una bolsa y lo tiramos por el río y chao. Nunca más lo vuelven a ver.
Have you taken out anyone that you've been like close to before, or like family or anything?
Sí, un primo. Me tocó matarlo si no me pelaban a mí. Por lo que yo te veo en tu cara, te veo mucho miedo.
It's a little bit intense, isn't it?
Kill or be killed. This is the bleak future awaiting many of Colombia's young, like those in Oscar's sanctuary. As Pablo Escobar famously put it, many will be forced to take the cocaine cartel's silver or take their lead. In the last 6 decades, nearly 18,000 children have been recruited to fight in the cocaine wars.
Do you ever get caught up in gang wars?
Sí, claro, pues ahora últimamente nos estamos dando con el plan del Golfo. Nos vamos dando promo por todo eso porque ellos quieren coger ese territorio y nosotros no. Toca ahí todos los días, de así, día por medio, cada 8 días y así.
Scary stuff.
Are there any rules to being a hit woman?
No me importa. He matado mujeres embarazadas. Sí, y hombres. A mí me encanta matar.
Es un gana dinero y gana una droga y gana de todo.
But then also, I guess you got a lot to lose if it all goes wrong.
Pierden algo, algún compañero, o la merca toda, o las armas, o la vida, uno no sabe.
Voy hasta que me maten a mí. Hasta ese punto voy a estar. Y ya, no hay marcha atrás.
For the children forced into this way of life, the future is bleak.
When she said that she'd killed a pregnant woman, that was... What can you say, really? Obviously, it's disgusting.
I wouldn't like to be in his shoes, to be honest, even though he's making loads of money and stuff, but the lifestyle he lives is pretty scary in my perspective.
If there weren't cartels running the streets of Colombia, people like her wouldn't exist. She would have a completely different career route. She'd turn her pain into power instead of using it to take people's lives, for sure.
But after that interview, it was a big sigh of relief. It's like, came out alive. Well happy with that.
After leaving the meeting, Troy begins to experience severe chest pains.
So basically, at the moment, we're off to hospital. I just got a really sharp pain when I started breathing in my chest, and I've had pneumothorax, which is with the collapse of the lung. But I'm really hoping I haven't got a collapsed lung. When you sniff it, cocaine can be one of the causes from collapsed lungs. I've still been taking cocaine, but yeah, a bit stupid of me, to be honest.
If Troy's worst fears are realised and he's suffered a collapsed lung again, it will spell the end of his journey to discover the truth about cocaine.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully it will be just muscle pains or something.
While Troy is examined, Amber and Louis are travelling to a downtrodden neighbourhood in the centre of town. It's gained a reputation as the epicentre of cocaine addiction in Medellin.
We see at home people sniffing cocaine, but I think in these type of places it's not just going to be sniffing it, it's probably injecting it, smoking it.
I kind of haven't thought about the addiction side of it.
Yeah.
I can imagine being addicted to it.
They're here to meet Juan David Toro Duarte, who works as a mediator between residents and the cartel that controls this area.
Lovaina es uno de los barrios, digámoslo así, que se encuentran identificados dentro de la alcaldía de Medellín como uno de los más vulnerables de este municipio. Entonces va a encontrar población habitante de calles, de ejercer la prostitución y el tema de la droga, la venta y tráfico de...
Many of the residents here live in dilapidated hostels owned by the cocaine gangs. Failure to pay rent daily can be fatal.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Vamos a pasar un momento acá.
Juan David wants to introduce Amber and Louis to one of the tenants.
Hola.
What is your name?
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Mi nombre es Luz Ángela García.
6 years ago, Luz was a wealthy business owner living in an affluent part of Medellin. But when a different cocaine gang moved into her area, she was forced to leave her possessions and life behind.
No, lo que sucedió es que nosotros vivíamos bien. Ya de ahí empezamos a vivir un calvario.
Must be so difficult to live in a place like this.
Pues, mi amor, aquí el que no les obedece es enemigo suyo.
What happens if you don't pay the rent?
Me sacan los grupos armados y me tiran las cosas a la calle y lo poco mucho de ropa.
It's horrible. I'm so sorry for you.
Give me a hug.
The people have to go through all this. And we sit at home and we don't have any worries.
Luz is just one of 7 million Colombians who've had to flee from their homes due, in part, to the cocaine trade and the global thirst for a party drug.
It's absolutely nothing I can compare to what she's been through.
Obviously, with some of the things she said as well, it's difficult to take, really. I think at home as well.
Okay, guys, sorry, we've got to go. Okay, we've got to go. Got to get in the van. Come on, go.
The security team have spotted gang members too close for comfort. And Amber and Louis now realise the total power the cartel have over so many Colombian communities. Four recreational cocaine users are discovering the reality of the illegal drug trade.
My views on decriminalising cocaine is that it should happen.
It's each to their own. And if you want to do drugs, then you should be allowed to do drugs.
It would stop a lot of people hiding in the shadows and being scared.
Personally, I think cocaine should stay the way it is. Obviously, I've seen people in the past who've been damaged off it. So legalising it, I don't see how it would help anybody.
If you give someone the option, they can do it if they want to do it. You may even find that there's more people that won't want to do it because it's not as much of a taboo.
Supermarket worker Troy has been in hospital with severe chest pains and is worried that his lung has collapsed. The doctor has just given him the prognosis.
They said, all good, good news, nothing wrong with me. They think it's just muscle spasm. You need to have a bit of a rest, they said. The doctor asked if I'd taken any cocaine, and I said no, and he said that if I did take cocaine, that would be one of the reasons for me to have a collapsed lung, but I didn't, so that's a good sign.
Troy's here.
All right, mate.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, we've missed it. So you're all good?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Back on the Pablo Escobar tourist trail, our team visit the street art which has transformed what was once one of the most dangerous places on Earth. But for security guard Ivan, the violent memories are still very real.
You're right, mate.
Y es que de la Operación Orión yo no ingresaba al barrio, yo no venía aquí. Primero, pues aquí murieron muchos compañeros, ahí murió un sargento, buen amigo. Al ingresar, el sargento Quintero entró con el puntero y desde esa esquina, un pelado por ahí de unos 14 o 15 años, asomó con un fusil AK-47 e impactó el sargento aquí en la nuca, el disparo le salió en este costado y quedó muerto instantáneamente ahí. No es una palma o un árbol porque eso fue lo que plantaron ahí donde murió el sargento. Esto fue una pérdida de tiempo y de vidas que no. Muchos siguen peleando esto, el narcotráfico aumentó. Esto no valió la pena. Placas de identificación las portamos. Oh, wow. Le voy a regalar esta placa. Consérvenla, que esa sí tiene miles de historias de guerra y de...
Are you sure?
¿Estás seguro que lo quieres hacer?
Sí, claro. Muchas gracias.
Wow. Good man. Thank you. Gracias. I'm gonna treasure it forever. I really am. It means a lot. It means a lot. When I go out and do cocaine, I wouldn't have thought about any of this in my life, sort of thing. And the fact that just cocaine has caused devastation to Ivan and loads of other people, it makes you think. It's going to make me think twice about doing cocaine.
Next time, how the influx of high-strength Colombian cocaine is overwhelming Britain.
Hello. Send me the postcode, I'll give you an ETA.
So that's how it works.
Cocaine is a very, very, very intense blood vessel constrictor.
When was the last time you put some in?
It comes in a couple times a week.
We had a seizure earlier on this year of nearly a tonne of cocaine that had come into Tilbury docks.
It started off at around a couple of grams a day. About a week before I came into here, I was 3.5 days up and I'd done 25.
Don't play with your life.